Most people I talk to think they can't afford an EV. They've looked at sticker prices $42,000, $48,000, $55,000, and they've checked out. I get it. That math doesn't work for most households. But here's what those same people don't know. Right now, in June 2026, you can lease a brand new electric car for less than what the average American pays for their cell phone plan. Less than your phone bill. I'm Ray Calloway. Welcome back, and I've been tracking EV lease deals obsessively for the past 18 months because I knew this moment was coming. 10 cars, all under $300 a month, all available right now at real dealerships, some of them way under $300. And the specific reason these deals exist and why they will not last forever is actually more interesting than the list itself. So stick with me through the first 2 minutes, because if you skip ahead to the cars without understanding the why, you're going to walk into a dealer and get taken. Two things created this window, and I mean a specific window, not a permanent new reality. Thing one, the $7,500 federal commercial EV tax credit. When you lease an EV, you are technically leasing from the finance company, not buying the car yourself. The finance company takes the tax credit, not you. But, and this is the part dealers don't always explain clearly, they're required to pass it through as a reduction in your monthly payment. That's $7,500 baked into the lease math before they even touch the interest rate. I called this in early 2023 when the heirs published the guidance. I said on this channel, leases are about to eat EV purchases alive. I got a lot of pushback on that one. Anyway, thing two, battery costs dropped roughly 40% over the last 2 years, depending on the chemistry. I've seen different figures from different analysts. NEF has it closer to 35, some others say higher. Either way, manufacturers built a wave of inventory on older cost structures that they need to move before next model year arrives with cheaper production underneath. Residual values haven't caught up yet. Dealers need volume. You win. But here's the thing though, this window probably closes in 12 to 18 months, give or take. Once residual values reprice to reflect where the used EV market actually is, these monthly payments climb. I'm not saying the deals disappear, I'm saying they get less absurd. Right now they are absurd, in a good way. All right, 10 cars. Number 10 is the floor, number 1 is the move. Number 10, the Nissan Leaf S, around $159 a month. I've seen it closer to $149 in California with some regional incentives stacked on top. 149 miles EPA, air-cooled battery, the oldest EV architecture on this list by a wide margin. The honest thing to know is that an air-cooled pack degrades faster than a liquid-cooled one, especially in hot climates. Over a 36-month lease, that probably doesn't matter much. You hand it back before the degradation gets real. If you're in Phoenix and you're thinking about buying this out at the end, don't. But as a straight lease, cheapest new EV you can put in your driveway. Who it's for: cold or temperate climate, tight budget, short commute. Everyone else, keep going. Number 9, the Fiat 500e, around $169 a month, $2,000 down depending on where you are. I've seen dealer offers below that in bigger metro markets, Miami, LA, a few in the Northeast. 149 miles of range, tiny footprint, genuinely fun to drive. Actually, I sat in one at a dealer last spring when I was waiting on a service appointment for my Ioniq 6. And the interior is a lot nicer than you'd expect for the price point. The catch, this is a one-person city-only car. Groceries and a passenger, fine. A family, a road trip, a highway commute, no. If you already own a primary car and you're looking for a second car city runabout, the 500e makes total sense. As a sole vehicle, it doesn't. Number 8, the Mini Cooper SE, around $199 a month with money down. Here's the kicker, range is 114 miles. 114, that is the shortest on this entire list. And yet this car makes the list because of what's happening to Mini's dealer inventory right now. Mini just announced the next generation Cooper SE with a substantially bigger battery, somewhere in the 200-mile range, give or take. I've seen a couple different numbers floated. The moment that announcement dropped, dealers started slashing prices on the outgoing model to clear lots. You are getting end of cycle pricing on a car that BMW engineered. The build quality is real, even if the range is not. Who it's for: second car, city use only, someone who genuinely values how a car feels to drive. If you've ever driven a BMW and you cared about chassis feedback, this car has it. 114 miles is a hard limit though, know that going in. Number 7, the Hyundai Kona Electric SE. Around $209 a month, about $2,500 down. 200 miles EPA on the standard battery. Real crossover footprint, actual back seat, actual cargo space. This starts to feel like a real primary vehicle. I drove the Kona loaner for a week last fall while my Ioniq 6 was in for a software update. Daily errands, one longer highway run, it handled it without me thinking about range once. Fine car. What to watch? The base SE trim removed the heat pump to hit this price. A heat pump recovers waste heat from the drivetrain to warm the cabin without drawing down the battery pack, which means without it, your winter range takes a bigger hit than it would on a comparable competitor. If you're in a cold state, step up to the mid-trim. If you're in the Sun Belt, the base is probably fine. So if you've been putting off the EV conversation because you thought you couldn't afford it, the cars we just covered prove the floor is lower than you thought. The next 5 are where the real decisions are. Stick with me. Number 6, the Subaru Solterra AWD. Around $219 a month, $2,000 down. This car exists on this list for one reason: Subaru has not sold it well and dealer lots are full. That's the whole story. 222 miles of EPA range on the all-wheel drive version. Nice interior, solid build. The car itself is fine. Sales haven't been. The tension here is the buyout math, because residual values on this car are going to be ugly in 2028. You do not want to own a Solterra when the next generation of cheaper, longer range EVs is sitting at the same price point. Lease it, enjoy the low payment for 3 years, hand the keys back, do not buy it out. I'll say that more than once tonight because it matters. For someone who loves Subaru's brand, the dealer network, the all-wheel drive story, this is a genuinely smart lease. Just don't get attached. Number 5, the Kia Niro EX, around $229 a month, 253 miles of EPA range. Comfortable, practical, slightly roomier than the Kona. Same Korean platform DNA as the Hyundai lineup, which means the same 10-year, 100,000 mile EV component warranty. That warranty matters when you're thinking about the buyout option. Most of you won't buy out. But on this car, the warranty is transferable, so there's actually a used buyer market for it in 3 years that makes the residual more defensible than the Solterra. My take: this is the boring pick. I mean that as a compliment. Zero drama for 3 years, decent range, real warranty, reasonable payment. If none of the other cars on this list particularly excite you and you just want reliable transportation at a low monthly, the Niro is your car. Number 4, Chevy Equinox EV LT. And here's where people's jaws tend to drop a little: the Chevy Equinox EV LT. Around $249 a month, about $3,000 down. 319 miles EPA, 319 on a mainstream American crossover for $249 a month. Let that sink in for a second. GM is doing something deliberate here. They need EV volume to hit their production targets, and they are willing to eat margin on the Equinox lease to get cars on the road. Smart move. Honestly, one of the smartest strategic calls I've seen a legacy maker make in this EV cycle, because it gets real people into real EVs instead of letting price anxiety keep them in gas cars. The Equinox EV is not exciting. The interior is not special. The charging speed, 150 kilowatt DC fast charge peak, is decent but not class leading. What it is genuinely useful in all the practical ways. Big back seat, 319 miles. American dealer network, $249 a month. Number 3, the Volkswagen ID.4 standard range, around $259 a month. 209 miles on the standard 62 kilowatt hour pack, which, yes, is less range than the Equinox below it on this list. It ranks higher for a different reason. The driving experience and the build quality are a step up. And the software, which was genuinely bad for a couple of years, has gotten meaningfully better through OTA updates. I rented an ID.4 in Colorado last winter, drove it across the state in actual snow. Competent, composed, confidence-inspiring in conditions where I'd have been nervous in a cheaper car. The range number is what it is. The car around that number is good. The play here, lease it, don't buy it out. VW is on their 4th generation of MEB software now, and the 5th is coming. Whoever owns this car in 2029 is going to be behind the curve. You won't be, because you'll have handed it back in 2028 and moved on. Number 2, the Honda Prologue EX, around $269 a month, $3,000 down, 296 miles of range. And here's the thing though, this car is built on GM's Ultium platform. Same bones as the Equinox EV and the Blazer EV. Honda handled the interior tuning and the badging. Some people call that a negative. I genuinely don't understand why. The Ultium platform is good. Honda made the interior better than Chevy did on the same bones. The Honda dealer network is one of the strongest in the country. And Honda's ownership reputation means something to used buyers in 3 years, which keeps your residual value more defensible than a comparable GM badge would. $20 more a month than the Equinox for a better interior, a stronger resale story, and the Honda name on the dealer paperwork. Reasonable trade if those things matter to you. If they don't, save the $20 a month and go back to number 4. And number 1, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 SE. Around $279 a month, $3,500 down. I've owned the Ioniq 6, the sedan sibling, on the same platform for going on 2 years now. I know this architecture better than I know most things, so when I put this car at number 1 on a lease value list, I want to be clear that I'm not picking it because I like Hyundai. I'm picking it because the technology advantage it has over everything else on this list is real and measurable. 303 miles EPA, long range single motor, but the range number is not the headline. The charging speed is. 800 volt architecture, same platform Porsche put in the Taycan, means it pulls roughly 180 miles of charge in about 18 minutes on a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger. I've clocked this on my own road trips with the Ioniq 6. 18 minutes. The Equinox EV peaks at 150 kilowatts. The ID.4 standard tops out around 135. You will spend measurably more time at chargers in those cars than in an Ioniq 5 on any trip over 200 miles. 10-year, 100,000 mile EV, component warranty. Transfers to a used buyer if you buy it out, though again, I wouldn't at the residual they'll set. For $279 a month, you get the best charging infrastructure, the best real-world range to payment ratio, and a car that I have personally logged tens of thousands of miles on the platform of. Best deal on this list. Not close. Okay, this is the part most lease videos skip, and it's the part that costs people real money. Every car on this list has an artificially high residual value baked into the lease contract. That's part of why the monthly payments are low. The manufacturer is betting the car holds its value better than the used market will actually support in 3 years. When your lease ends and you see the buyout price, it is going to look reasonable. It is not. The used EV market in 2028 is going to be full of cheap, longer range options. The buyout price was set in 2025. It doesn't know that. Hand the keys back. Sign a new deal on whatever is cheap in 2028. That is the play. One more thing, confirm in writing before you sign anything that the $7,500 commercial credit is being passed through as a cap cost reduction on your contract. Some dealers try to pocket part of it. It will be a line item on the contract if it's being applied correctly. If you don't see it, ask. If they can't explain it, walk. We talked about the $7,500 commercial credit tonight, and the reason it applies to leases but not always to purchases is actually a lot more complicated than most people realize. There's an income cap, a vehicle price cap, a battery sourcing requirement, and depending on where your next car was built, you might qualify for a purchase credit too, or you might not qualify at all. I did a full breakdown of exactly who qualifies and who gets cut out. It's a video that will tell you whether buying actually beats leasing in your specific situation, and for some of you, it does. That one's next. I'm Ray Calloway. See you there.